Hey everyone, it's Ben Watson here. Today I have Austin Collie with me, and I've had the opportunity to build Austin Orthotics for the last 9 years or so, since you've been at Indy, and so I'm just totally stoked to have him here. And what I want to do is we're just going to talk and see what he's doing now and just talk about a few things. So thanks, Austin, for being on the show with me.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. Like I've always said, you've done a wonderful job and have helped me out tremendously with my feet.
Thanks. So I want to know, like, early history. I know that your family has been in football, and so tell me about your childhood with football. When did you think that you were going to be a professional football player?
I think you ask every professional athlete, and they'll tell you, since they could pick up a ball, they kind of knew that was what they were going to do, right? And I was no different. I loved football. I realized I was talented at it, and just wanted to see how far I could push the envelope with my skill set. And I'd made my mind up pretty early that that's what I wanted to do.
And your father played professionally as well?
Yeah, so my dad played up in the CFL. He was with the Niners for a camp, and my older brother also was in camp with the Eagles and played wide receiver at BYU. And my little brother just got done playing wide receiver at BYU in Hawaii, and is now hopefully gets a shot and gets into a camp in the NFL.
And how old were you when your dad was playing professionally?
So I was actually born in Canada, so it was early on. First 2 years of my life, he was finishing up in the CFL.
Yeah. So, and tell us about, like, you've had an amazing career, a lot of really, really cool moments. Out of all those moments, what was your favorite? What's
probably going to the Super Bowl, right? I mean, it was my rookie year. First year playing, and thankfully I was able to contribute and have some part in getting us there, as little as it might have been, but to be able to go to the pinnacle of competition in the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, with Reggie Wayne, with guys that you grew up watching and playing Madden with, right? It was awesome. It was definitely one of those things that you'll never forget those feelings that you had.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tell me about the concussions and how that's that totally. I feel like that cut your career short. Absolutely, right?
Yeah. I mean, it had something to do with it. Yeah, I think so.
And but since you've retired, you've worked with a company helping people with concussions.
Yeah, so I work with the rehabilitation clinic down in Provo, where I still continue to seek treatment and help in dealing with certain things. And then I'm also now with a company that has developed a platform to track and monitor concussions using speech. That's
super interesting. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we have found the name of the company is Canary Speech, and the company that I advise and help out with is called Canary Concussion. And basically what we've done is taken speech and have been able to model it and identify over 2,000 biomarkers within our speech that correlate with certain illnesses or conditions or disease. And our hope is to find and identify the biomarkers that correlate with concussion, right? So eventually we'd have an assessment tool based upon a pathological process, right?
And who do you want to see? Is it mainly athletes that you're seeing, or?
Yeah, so athletes and right now we're in over 60% of the universities here in Utah are using our product. And we look to expand that. We also work with high schools and clinicians. Anybody that is doing baseline testing or baseline has some sort of baseline protocol implemented into their system. That's who we usually like to do business with.
So are there a lot of people out there that have had severe concussions that are affecting their quality of life that don't even realize it? What are the symptoms that happen when you have a concussion that people may not be aware of that they should know about?
Yeah, so some of the things that I've seen and that I've dealt with is just attention, the inability to focus for a long period of time, and then also short-term kind of memory loss. It's something that I continually have to work on to maintain some level, and then also word retrieval, having a hard time finding the words to use. So there's that's the one thing about concussions is the effects and the symptoms that one experiences are completely different. Even with various concussions or a number of concussions, my symptoms were completely different each concussion. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Was it progressive as well?
Yeah, so it became easier and easier for me to once I got hit to actually experience some sort of symptomatic effect, right? But it's always not good to get multiple and to continue to get them. But I would advise anybody. I get parents ask me all the time what to do and how to respond and how to get treatment. The one thing is never come back too early. Is what I tell them, right? Take the time to make sure you rehabilitate and get to a point where you feel, back to baseline or back to normal before you engage in any other activity. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit earlier about you're a family man now, and tell us about how many kids you have. And
so I have I have 3 kids and 1 on the way. I have 2 boys. And then I have a little girl and then 1 girl on the way.
And the boys are 8 and 7,
Uh-huh.
and the little girl's 3. What's the little girls? What's their names?
So Nash is the oldest. Banks is the second oldest. He's 7. So I have 8, 7, and then our little girl's Rocky.
Rocky.
Yep, who's 3 years old. And then we don't have a name picked out yet for the last one.
Yeah. And how far along is your wife?
So she's due in March.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
So thanks everyone for joining us today, and thank you so much.
Yeah.
And
thanks for having me.
I love working with you, and I love to continue to build your orthotics. So thanks.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me. Thanks for everything you've done, man.